favorite example for that?
Sure.
Okay, so we all credit, because you mentioned Apple and Steve Jobs. We all credit Apple for the iPhone, which is great. It's the first time in my life that I have some kind of an emotional bonding with a device. Um, but it's interesting to know that in the last 4 or 5 years, Apple didn't make a lot of money from the iPhone. Um, it's still an expensive technology. There were major investments to actually get there. Um, and in terms of um, revenue, um, oh, maybe I'll say something. First of all, in terms of innovation, the iPhone is an amazing device. It has a lot of great technology, amazing design, perfect integration. Uh, I'm out of superlatives. Again,
Yeah.
amazing positioning. Everything is great. It has very little innovation in there. Um, uh, there is innovation there, mostly again some engineering solutions that are brilliant. But the most innovative thing that Apple did, and the source for most of its revenue in these years, was not the iPhone. It was the iTunes. It's the business model behind it. Not many people know that, but in the first 3 years, Apple charges 20% of the revenue from every mobile provider that wanted to provide service for iPhone. So it's not the device, it's the business model behind it.
Yeah. And you know, when they just launched it, when Steve went to the stage 2007, and it was only a phone and maybe a navigation system. It didn't have any application on it at the beginning. It just started
Yep.
afterwards.
Yep.
And then all the ecosystem of applications and all the connection and partners to that device and all the data, of course, on that device started to do something else. So what would you tell an innovation leader during these really hard times?
I'll start by sharing an observation and then maybe an advice. Uh, so I think at around April of last year, when it was clear that we're going towards a pandemic, um, I got curious. I wanted to know what happened to organizations in the context of innovation. What happened to innovation when business goes through such a dramatic challenges? Um, so I started to call up and write and talk to clients and colleagues and people that I don't know, and I thought it'd be interesting to hear what they say. And my question was, during this crisis, where do you focus your most of your innovation efforts? Um, and I got really great answers. So from collecting a few hundreds of answers from I think from around the world, um, what I see is that um, for most organizations, they will focus on 4 areas, or some of the following 4 areas. So first of all is problem solving. So it's crisis. Kids are not going to school. Parents stays at home. People have to work remotely. Stores are closed. There's no supply chain. So you have to put fires out. So a great part of the innovation efforts were shifted towards problem solving. So that's one. The second one was adaptations and conversions. So we saw some organization immediately coming up with COVID-19 related solutions, whether it's delivery systems, whether it's a company who makes vacuum cleaners now create pipes for medical equipment. So we see that companies who makes shirts and pants now sell face masks. So that's the second area. The third area was what they called exit strategy. So how could we be best in the game when this is over, assuming that this will be over to a certain extent?
Yeah.
So that's the third area that companies were focusing on, a lot less than the first two. And the fourth area, which for me was kind of phenomenal and exciting, was to realize that some organizations understand that instead of investing in exit strategy, or instead of making sure they'll be best in the game when this is over, they're taking the opportunity to change the rules of the game. Okay, which I
Mhm.
think in terms of strategy, this is brilliant. This is really smart. Um, and
Yeah.
since April, I had the pleasure of working with quite a lot of organizations in each of these four areas, and it works.